Hello and welcome back to my channel, and I'm coming today from a slightly different place. So as you know, I am moving house and I haven't really shown you guys very much of my house, and that's because obviously I'm moving, so I didn't necessarily see the point, but there are some rooms that I really wanted to share before I leave, and this is one of them. This is actually my favourite room in the entire house, and it's actually the smallest room in the entire house. I wanted to make a statement in this room even though it's small, and I feel like I have done that. And in fact, I pinned a picture of this room on Pinterest a couple of years ago, and it has been repinned hundreds and thousands of times. If you go onto Pinterest and search for a particular phrase, my room comes up pretty much at the top. It is everywhere, and so I do joke that this room has become famous, and in fact people who have visited this room, like Emma, have also called it famous and feel very blessed to have come in and used this room. This room is in fact my downstairs loo. To give you a tour of my downstairs toilet, but as I said, this is my favourite room in the house. I love the way it turned out. I had an idea in my head and I really pushed through to sort of finish it the way that I wanted to, even though so many people were not convinced, and I love the result. And now when anybody comes, they do always comment on the downstairs toilet. I am going to be really gutted when I leave because obviously it is my favourite room, so I am going to be a bit sad when I move and I have to leave my famous downstairs toilet. But yeah, I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about how I came up with the idea, some of the products that I use, and also how I styled up the room to make it look the way it is now. So let's get going. So this room was completely plain white when we first moved in, as most of the house was, and it's actually quite a big downstairs toilet, and that's because building regs says that you have to fit a wheelchair in because this house is a new build. So therefore there was quite a lot of space in it, which I think then afforded a very dark colour on the wall. You can't always put a dark colour on the wall, it can make rooms feel smaller, and I think that was the concern of my ex-husband. He wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the idea of a dark wall, and in fact all the builders and everything were like, you really sure? But I said, trust me, I know it's going to work, and obviously it did. People should just listen to me, do you know what I mean? Don't question me. But yeah, I knew I wanted a dark colour on the back wall. And I knew I wanted a kind of dark grey, sort of leaning towards charcoaly, a very sort of cool grey. And I found that at B&Q. It's the B&Q own colour, I think it's called Colours, and the shade is Asphalt. And I picked just the basic matte paint. I didn't want any kind of sheen to it. I didn't pick a special bathroom paint because obviously this room doesn't have a shower in it or anything that's going to cause steam. If you're going to paint a proper bathroom, I would choose the bathroom version. But yeah, it is the most perfect dark grey. Goes on really nice. It's cheap as chips in a small space like this. I mean, I did do 3 coats just to make sure it was really neat and perfect. But yeah, a really good colour, and honestly I'm such a fan, and I would be tempted to buy it again and paint a wall in the colour somewhere else. So one of the big debates I had was whether to carry the paint colour all the way down to the floor. So around the toilet there is some wooden boxing, and that was something the builders did to hide all of the pipes. The first time I painted the wall, I actually only painted down to the boxing and left the boxing white, and it just didn't look right. And so I decided to carry the paint colour the whole way down, and I'm really glad I did. I feel like it is much more dramatic. It makes the thing just look cooler. When I painted the wood boxing, I did mix the basic matte asphalt paint with a matte glaze, and that just goes onto wood a little bit better, and it also means that I can wipe it because obviously it is around the toilet and it does get dusty, and it is nice to be able to give it a little bit of a wipe and not take the paint off. So that's what I did for that. And I loved the finish. I think it looks absolutely brilliant, and I was very happy to have carried the paint colour down to the floor. So the next thing I knew I wanted was floating shelves. I knew that I wanted a couple of shelves, 2, maybe 3. I ended up deciding just to do 2 because you have to be quite careful how close you put shelves to the toilet, because A, you need to be able to sit sit on the toilet, and B, you need to be able to stand up from the toilet without banging your head. So yeah, once we'd sort of placed the shelves there, we realised we probably only had room for 2. So we went with 2 in the end. And I found these shelves at Wilko's. Now originally I wanted the shelves to go completely wall to wall and there'd be no gap, but this room is a tiny little bit of a funny size and I couldn't find any, and I did debate about having some custom made. But in the end, these ones from Wilko's were so cheap and they were the perfect colour to match the flooring as well, which was really, really important to me. There's a tiny little gap that runs either side, they don't go wall to wall, but to be honest, for the money, I was very happy just to go with them. So yeah, they're both floating. They have all the hardware and everything hidden inside, which is what I wanted. I didn't want to see any hardware. I wanted that lovely floating look. So they were the next thing to go up. And I wanted them there because I wanted to sort of do that kind of spa thing where you have towels rolled up and piled up and then the odd sort of ornament and everything to display. So yeah, that's the reason why the shelves are there. They're sort of there as a display area, but they also give the room a sort of bit of interest as well and a bit of depth. Do you know what I mean? A bit of 3D-ness, so the wall's not completely flat. The next thing was I knew that I wanted the accent colour in here to be gold. Now some people are really picky about hardware and they would want everything to be gold. In a perfect world, I would have liked my taps and everything around the sink area to be gold, but it's not. And to be honest, it doesn't wind me up that much. I think it would have been quite costly to have changed all the hardware on the sink, so I just left it the way it was. It's quite a small little sink to fit in this room, but I did know that I wanted all of my things like my toilet roll holder and my towel rail to be gold. And do you know what? They are hard to find, and they're hard to find ones that are nice. And I hunted high and low for a long time actually to find the ones that I wanted, and in the end I found them at B&Q. In a whole big set with loads of other stuff which I didn't actually use. But again, the set was so affordable that actually even just to use the towel rail and the toilet roll holder was still very, very cost effective because the whole set was a bit of a bargain. It is metal, I mean it's not plastic. Parts of it are plastic, like the centre bit, the toilet roll holder and everything, but I like it. It's quite a sleek modern shape, it's sort of squared off, it goes with the squared right angles of the shelves, and yeah, a bit of a bargain really. So I would definitely rebuy that set in my new place because I'm going to leave all of this behind. So yeah, gold is a big, big accent in this room, and as you can see on the wall, I have these 3 gold mirrors. These are actually a DIY that I did myself. These mirrors are plastic. They were an absolute bargain from Home Bargains. And all I did was spray them gold and then do a gold leaf effect on them. And I love them. I think they look wicked. They slightly remind me of ship portholes. They're not meant to, but they do slightly remind me of that. But I really like having the 3 of them. Again, it just gives the room a bit of interest. It reflects back light. It makes this room very, very light and bright. And I just think they look really, really wicked, and they were really, really cheap to do. And yeah, such a simple DIY. I don't have a video on how to do them. However, if you say in the comments that you would like to see how to create this, then I could show you. I do have a single mirror left, so I could just do it again for you and show how I created them. But yeah, I like the fact they look a little bit distressed, but they've also got that gold thing that runs through the whole room. So there's a few other gold elements in the room. One is a mirror that sits behind my sink. That was another little DIY. It was a bargain mirror from the range, which I have painted gold. And that just leans up against the window behind the sink, and I really like the fact it sort of has that sort of little dressing vanity feel about it. And in front of that is a soap dispenser, which is just the jazziest, goldest soap dispenser you've ever seen in your life. And that came from Asda Home, and I tell you what, George Home is just a sea of quirky bargains. I have the pineapple soap dispenser, and I also have the pineapple dish as a little sort of decor item down next to the toilet, and they were so cheap, super quirky. I love how bright gold they are. They tie in with everything else, and yeah, just give a little bit of fun to the room. And that's the thing, this room is supposed to be just a bit of fun. So back when I decorated this room, one of the big trends was palm print. I mean, it was massive, and I was tempted to wallpaper the back wall with a palm print wallpaper, and I'm really glad that I didn't. Partly because that trend has really moved on now, but also because this colour is just, it's much more, it's not going to date. Do you know what I mean? And you could add accessories in here and have whatever colours that you wanted. So one of the things I wanted to do to bring palm print into the whole thing was use towels in order to bring that print in, and also sort of other items. And I found the most amazing palm print towels. I actually saw them at Next Press Day. They don't sell them anymore, I'm afraid, but there are similar ones, which I will link in the description box. And so I knew that I wanted this pop of palm print to come from towels, and there's some storage boxes as well, which sort of just give a little bit of interest, a little bit of detail. And I also have them stacked up there on my shelf for that little sort of flash of print. And I think that is a brilliant way to bring print into a room like this. If palm print's no longer in fashion, you can just take those towels away and you can go and get some others that have a more up-to-date print, or a print that you now like, and it's just a really easy way to sort of like refresh the design of your room. That's why I always think using a plain colour on a wall rather than wallpaper, and having the design or the print in your fabrics is a better way round to do it. But that's just my opinion, but I am glad that I did it this way round. And also it means when I move, I can take my palm print towels and storage boxes with me, and I can put them in my new bathroom. So yeah, every cloud. Continuing the gold theme, I also have a couple of fake plants in here. One of them, which is quite large, sits in the corner. I didn't want a real plant in here. I wasn't sure how it would survive, and I found that fake plant at Homebase, which is one of the best places for fake plants. I think they're really good quality, they're not too expensive. So that one sits in the corner in a little gold H&M pot, which also adds, obviously, more gold into the room. Lots of gold. Deborah likes gold. I do. And also, to continue the gold theme, there is a gold ceiling light. So again, the ceiling light was something that I debated over for a long time. Did we want a lampshade? What did we want? And I decided that I really wanted to go with an industrial hanging bulb, and I found this bargain of a fitting on eBay. I will do my best to link it if it still exists, with a sort of striped cord, and we've added in a filament bulb. It's really simple, it was really easy to fit. We had to cut quite a lot off. It was a very, very long corded light fitting, but I really like the way it looks. It's really simple. I'm going to be leaving that behind because it goes with the room, and I feel like I don't want to take everything away when I move. So the majority of this, including possibly the mirrors, will probably stay when I move house. Final gold touches are the all-important practical items like a toilet brush and a bin. These took me so long to find. It is so hard to find gold bathroom accessories. Like, honestly, come on people, get with the program. I suspect there's probably more now, but I obviously did this room, it was around 2 years ago now. It took me a year to find the right gold colour, toilet brush and bin, and I found them in Wilko, and in fact they were in the sale because clearly nobody else wanted gold bathroom accessories except me. So I snapped them up, and again I will be taking them with me, and I will put them hopefully in my new bathroom, in my new house. But I do think you need those practical items in a room like this, and I really wanted to carry on the sort of gold theme in here. Finally, this room does sit on a main road. So this is actually the front window that looks out onto the street. And although the glass is textured, I didn't like the idea of sitting and having a whittle with people walking past. And so I wanted to find a blind that had a bit of detail to it, had a bit of pattern, maybe tied in with palm print, but also that could be left permanently down, but would let lots of light through. And I found this really beautiful fern print blind, and I just love it. Again, I'm going to be leaving it behind because it's already fitted to the window, and I think the next people will probably just keep it because it's white. But I really like the effect that it has. Never lift it up, but this room is still, as you can see, really light, really bright, but you can have your privacy while you have a pee. And that's the most important thing, isn't it? When you're having a whittle, you don't want all your neighbours looking through. So yeah, but the blind was a bargain. I really like the print. I would definitely buy this blind again in my next place because I just think it's so pretty. I think it was from Dunelm, but I will link it in the description box. All of my little decor items I've collected from various places. I love Primark Home. I've got a couple of Primark Home succulents. I think there's a Sainsbury's succulent up there. There's a little hanging glass teardrop, which I think is from Matalan. I love just collecting quirky pieces of homeware and then dotting them on shelves, and all of those little items are going to go with me to my new place and they will get dotted into new rooms. And I actually had decided when I move that all of my decor items are going to get packed in a couple of big boxes, and then when I move I'm going to redistribute them around my new house and sort of mix it up, have them in some different places. So, but yeah, places like that are brilliant for little cheap accessories that just, you know, give a little bit of interest to your shelves or your bathroom, bedroom, whatever. But yeah, I love the way the shelves look. Nice and minimal, nice and simple, and I've just kept them like that from when I first did it. I haven't changed, I haven't swapped it around, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the little tour of my downstairs toilet, which is, yes, it is Pinterest famous, and Emma herself has come and whittled in the famous downstairs loo. So I'm afraid nobody else will probably get to come and do that because I am moving. However, let's see when I move whether I can replicate the success of this downstairs toilet somewhere else. But I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed having a little bit of a nosy, and I am going to show you a couple of other rooms in the house in some other videos, so let me know which rooms you would love to see and I will film them. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and I will see you again next time. Bye!